Dinner for shoes, please.
Trish, you ready for action? Hello and welcome to an episode of Dinner for Shoes. Sorry, I'm a little taken aback because these sunglasses, while everything else looks normal, when I look at screens, they're bright pink. This is wild to me. You have no idea. You look normal, but the screen looks pink. It's scary. All right, she's gonna move along. This is a Fashion Week episode, a short and sweet episode. Am I Sabrina Carpenter? No, this episode is a short and sweet episode because it's the episode where I take you through my experience at New York Fashion Week. And I tell you what trends I'm spotting. And of course, we'll still eat maybe sooner rather than later because my stomach is like growling right now. But yeah, let's get into the outfit behind the shoes. This outfit is a nod to New York Fashion Week because it's one of the looks that I was planning on wearing that I did not wear. The shoes, we can start there. Remind me of a taxi cab. So that just go. Everything today, including the food, is a nod to New York City because New York Fashion Week, we love you, New York, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And these Gola sneakers actually didn't get to me on time for Fashion Week. So I wanted to style a look with them and lo and behold, I am. Now, something else that's important. We got new plates. I'm just going to talk about the plates like they're part of the outfit behind the shoes because they go with the shoes. And we have all different colored plates. The plates are colored and they match with our rebrand logo. So that's really exciting. And of course, I chose yellow for today because cab, New York City taxi, whatever. Why am I out of breath? I think these sunglasses are making me out of breath. But I'm not going to show you the other plates just yet. You're going to get to see them as the episodes go on, okay? So you're going to have to wait, but yellow it is for the Golas. Now I love these retro looking sneakers. They are really, really cute and they have black stripes and yeah, I'm obsessed with them. They're also really comfortable. They're a low top, obsessed. Now, the rest of the look, these two pieces are from Cider. I have a red sleeveless turtleneck and I have a white blazer. I believe this is from Cider. Let me just check. I'm also really hot right now, so I think that like, maybe we'll keep this off. I don't know. Cider. It's from Cider. Okay, yes. So this is from Cider. Now you can see the full top, really cute, really chic. I love it. And of course, I borrowed from Vivrel. I already talked about the bag that I borrowed from Fashion File, the Stella McCartney bag. I borrowed this Bottega bucket bag from Vivrel and I am obsessed with it. Never really thought I was a bucket bag person. Always knew that I was like a burgundy person. I love burgundy, but didn't think I would love this as much as I do. I actually found that it kind of like cinched in the waist with some of my more oversized looks, which is exactly what I did with this look. And yeah, it's just really great. You can store so much in here. It's seriously making me think about potentially buying this bag. I love the weave. Obviously, it's Bottega. What else? And then these jeans that I'm wearing are from Reformation. These are the Cary low rise. Actually, just wrote a whole story on them. The Cary is the most popular jean on Reformation site for a good reason. These are the low slung ones. I love how baggy they are. They're perfectly baggy. They are not too like loose where it's like you have the drop crotch situation. I don't know. I just am so into baggy jeans right now. As you know, if you watched a few episodes back, you saw my Hollister ones that I'm obsessed with. Just so cute. These rose colored glasses are from Brew Eyewear. I really love them. These are called the Flossy. The skinny sunglasses trend is like kind of sticking around. I don't necessarily know if the trend where all the screens are bright pink is sticking around. I hope not, but these I'm into. I love them. I feel like they're a nod to like my Bottega. And then at the same time, my jewelry, which I am obsessed with, I got for Fashion Week. I actually got the jewelry from Astrid and Miu. If you know some of the pieces that I've worn before, you know that I'm a big fan of Astrid and Miu as a jewelry company. They have rubies on them and they remind me of some Taylor Swift jewelry. And I was recreating a couple of looks, we'll get into that, for Fashion Week that are Taylor Swift inspired. So I was like, all right, we got to go with this. So I have this like ring and ear climber set. I'm obsessed with the way these earrings tuck behind like the ledge of your ear. And it's just like, oh, like I love that. I think that that's really cool. Chic, obviously with my hair down, you don't see them often, but I am a hair tucker behind my ear. So you'll see them then. Let's talk about Fashion Week first and what I thought of it. And then we'll go get the food and we'll talk about my outfits that I wore at Fashion Week, and we'll talk about the trends, which is the biggest part of this episode. Okay, so the shows that I went to this Fashion Week, let me just pull up my review. The runway shows I actually went to, I feel like 8 or so, but one of them was a presentation. Oh, there goes the white blazer. We can now call it a gray hair blazer, right? Right, Missy? She's like, where's the food? I thought this was supposed to be dinner. She knows this show too well. So I went to Christian Siriano. That was my first runway show. Typically it's the first. It kind of brings in the week. It was all red, like really cool and moody, very glamorous. Almost like race car drivers meets like glamorous. It kind of gave a nod to like old school Balenciaga with these like really fitted, fabric heavy, form-fitting looks. So that was cool. Lots of glamour. There's always a lot of glamour at Siriano, and there's always a lot of celebrity sightings too. Seeing Laverne Cox was really cool. Walked right by her, and I'm always just like in awe when I see her. I also went to, oh my God, these are out of order, so I don't even know what was next. Let me see. I went to, Kalina Strata was that same day, I believe. Kalina Strata was really cool. Very like Gen Z influencer heavy in the front row. Kalina Strata always like makes a statement. The looks are kitschy. There was these really cute like shirts that said like ladies night and girl dinner. I was obsessed. 2 brides making out in the middle. There was a dog. Like everything happens at Kalina Strata, and it's just kind of like a love fest of a situation. I loved that. I went to Prabal Gurung. Love Prabal. Prabal was beautiful as always. I really liked how the models all lined up on the arch of like the staircase at Surrogate's Court at the end for the finale. Really just thought that this was very heavy on the texture, which Prabal usually does. The color palette is always really beautiful. So I thought that that was really unique too. And I was also sitting across from Anna Wintour. Of course, she wears her sunglasses, but I always like to like look at her for her nods of approval or whatnot. I always think that that's a cool thing to get to do. Very Devil Wears Prada. I also went to La Pointe, and I went to Sandy Lang. La Pointe was on a basketball court. There was actually a WNBA star in the show, which was very cool. La Pointe, again, the colors are always fabulous. One of the colors that was shown on that runway we're going to talk about, it's like a sea green situation, very popular for fall 2025. And that was really fun. I took my best friend Rachel, and we had an extra ticket that day. And then also at Sandy Lang, that one like struck a chord. Sandy Lang was inspired by like nostalgia, like the days of shopping at Limited 2 and pencil cases and Lisa Frank and like all of these really kitschy, of course there's always bows. Sandy Lang is big on the bows, but the shoes were awesome. They had these big like pearls. The models walked through, it almost looked like it could be snow or sand, but it was like a fuzzy runway, and they got to kind of drag their bare feet through it, almost like, and some of the models even kind of like walked like they were like kids like stomping around, like playing. I don't know, it was cool. It felt like dress up. But then Sandy does always still nod back to like what the upcoming trends are for the season. And I think that she did that really well. So we're going to talk about some of the looks that I felt like spoke to some of the trends that are happening. I went to Sergio Hudson. Sergio Hudson is really cool, very moody, very much a vibe. The colors are always very strong. I felt like there was a big return to the classics, which spoiler, that's a trend, with Sergio. And Sergio walked the entire runway, which was kind of like a maze, and it went like all the way around. So that was really cool. I love it when a designer does that. And I finished the week with Coach. Coach, again, is always cool. Again, it's like very like Gen Z friendly. I really liked the baggy pants. That was more than enough proof to me that baggy pants are going nowhere. These pooling jeans, khakis, belts with like cropped little leather jackets, graphic tees, really cool. Also little pouch bags that were just hung, very like bohemian-like, really cool. Glasses. I also really like, this is like a little weird nod or twist, but the vests and even the leather jackets, they have like a moto strap around the neck. And the way that they were worn was like strapped. So it kept the collar standing up tall, which I thought was really neat. And I'm wondering if we're going to see that like styling trick employed on the street. So yeah, those were the runway shows I went to. As always, and I think I say this every time we do a Fashion Week episode, I think there could be more diversity. I almost feel like we're going in the reverse direction when it comes to models on the runway with diverse body types. I can't talk about it enough. I think that obviously there are some great shows that continue to do it. I do feel like Kalina Strada is very inclusive and Siriana is very inclusive. Like those are the shows that I want to be at and to see. I also like it when men walk on the runway. I think it's cool where, I mean, we've talked about this before, but I just think gender neutral fashion is where it's at. And I don't think that there should be women's wear and men's wear. So I like to just see everybody on the runway enjoying and appreciating fashion. I'm about to flash some of, I feel like I have a cat hair on my lippy. People say that about like the lip gloss, right? I'm not a beauty person. You guys know that. But so I feel like I lost my train of thought. We were talking about Siriana. We were talking about inclusivity. We were talking about, I was going to say that I am going to flash some pictures of men on the runway when I talk about the trends that are on the runway. I also really couldn't help myself. I have so many examples of each runway trend that I saw because I felt like the trends were explicit this season, at least in New York. We're going to see what happens in London, Milan, and Paris, but New York always sets the tone for the trends ahead. Let's talk about my Fashion Week outfits really quick, and then we'll do the food and the trends all together. Because my Fashion Week outfits, I didn't really have many of them, and 2 of them were part of an editor experiment I was doing where I was recreating some of Taylor Swift's corseted looks. So my favorite one, and the one that this outfit kind of nods to today, is this marigold leather blazer from Cary with this Bottega bag and red leather pants, my Steve Madden platform, patent Mary Janes. And that look got photographed a lot. I had this like black thick turtleneck on just for layers for warmth because February, it's always hard. I feel like sometimes my outfits are just a wash because I only care about like warmth. And then other times I don't wear enough clothes and I'm left like shivering and having my Reynauds. And I actually did have Reynauds outside of the Alice and Olivia presentation. They wouldn't let anybody in. Yeah, so it can get intense, but that look was really cool. There were some really cool detail shots that were taken. So I appreciated that. I really loved recreating this Taylor outfit with her black corseted Fleur du Mal, like skater dress. It's long sleeves, and I wore this long Nasty Gal duster jacket. It was almost like a tuxedo jacket over it. It was embellished with stones, only on the front, not the back. I wore my Stella McCartney bag with that I borrowed from Fashion File. These Vivaya, which is a sustainable brand that we've talked about before, boots. They're kind of like a spandex sock boot situation, and they have red soles, and Taylor Swift wore Christian Louboutins, which have red soles. I think everyone knows that. So that was kind of like my nod there. I even wore her Ruby Woo MAC lipstick. So I really leaned into that. I also didn't think that the outfit should have a necklace as part of it, but Taylor wore a necklace with the dress. So I did it. I just fully leaned into being Taylor. Now I also did that for the Sergio Hudson show. She wore this satin Victoria's Secret corset that I was able to get my hands on for the sake of the story. So I kind of did like a blazer mini skirt set on top of it because Taylor had worn a Versace one with that corset to a Chiefs game. So I did that, but in gray. Again, bought my Stella McCartney bag because she loves Stella McCartney. She carries a Stella McCartney bag. She actually carried like a fringed crystally bag with the previous look when she wore the Simkai embellished long coat and the Fleur du Mal mini dress. I wore thigh-high Chelsea Paris boots, which we've talked about before on the podcast. I love them, and my hair up for that moment. So that was really fun. I have 2 more to talk about, the last one being my favorite, but I did on the day of the Super Bowl, had to do it. I wore my Abercrombie & Fitch sporty sweatshirt. And my best friend as well was like, okay, here's the hack for that. You just wear a sports bra underneath. And if you want to make the sweatshirt cropped, you like tuck it under the sports bra. I feel like that's something that like I could have discovered on TikTok, but I didn't. And I also still had TikTok deleted from my phone, which, oh my God, thank God it's back in the App Store for anyone who was in my boat. Download it, right? We're so happy TikTok is back. So many cat videos to peruse. And I wore my Bottega bag again. I tried to wear the bags I borrowed as much as possible. I think that that's like cool and just speaks to how sustainability is such that you can borrow bags, you can wear them. One man's not trash, but one person, because I hate saying like one man, but one person's, you know, something that they're not using right now is another person's, I'll use it right now. How about that? Okay. And so that situation happened. Look at the cat hair on this mirror photo of me taking a picture of myself before I went out to the shows before the Super Bowl. I also wore the same Zara shoes that we had on previously for the Wealth of a Woman episode, and my black high-waisted rumored slacks for that look. And then the last look I'll talk about was the day of the Coach show. And I just think this is so funny because I always have one fashion week day where I like don't do my makeup because I am so tired and I just like barely wear jewelry and keep it really chill. And that's what I did on this day for the Coach show. I wore my intentionally blank per my last email hat, which we have talked about. Check out the LGBTQ owned brands episode so you can learn all about intentionally blank. We had Ty McBride, the founder, on, and I wore my cropped ribbed black turtleneck. Don't know who it's by. I think I cut out the tags. I was pissed when I saw that too. I wore this Verge Girl midi skirt. It fit me like a maxi skirt, but I think it's a midi skirt, which typically things go that way. And it had this like cool polka dot overlay over it. It was cream. I wore my Kate Spade combat boots that come with a little pouch on them, but I didn't wear it with the pouch because this was the day where I just was like, I can't be bothered with extra things. Fashion week is over. Let me be. So that was fun. And again, I wore my Bottega bag with that look. And those were really my fashion week outfits. And I feel like because I was so focused on like doing the Taylor Swift experiment, I didn't really lean in as hard as I could have. And I don't love all of my fashion week outfits, but now this is another excuse for me to add an outfit. Let's actually put the Cider blazer back on just for the hell of it. Just for the hell of it. I actually really love this blazer. I feel like if you're going for a snatched but oversized look, check out this Cider blazer because I really love it. Let me go get MAMOUN'S, which is our food of the day. I'll be right back. We're back with my emotional support water bottle and we are back with my MAMOUN'S. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm actually going to look up a little bit of the history of MAMOUN'S, but I've been eating MAMOUN'S since college. I went to NYU, which if you watched the recent episode about fashion school and you listened to my whole college career experience, you know that. And I used to go to the MAMOUN'S on McDougal all the time. And MAMOUN'S has now expanded. They have one in Hoboken, MAMOUN'S Falafel, right? Yeah, I know you want it. I know you want it. I know you want it. Hold your horses. Okay, bless you. God bless you. Authentic Middle Eastern food since 1971. Situated in the heart of Greenwich Village in New York City, MAMOUN'S Falafel has been serving high-quality, authentic Middle Eastern food since 1971. It is the oldest falafel restaurant in New York and one of the first Middle Eastern establishments in the United States. You can go on their website and you can see some cool pictures from the original. I will say that the one on McDougal still looks really cool and authentic when you go in. It's almost like got that rundown, hole-in-the-wall style feel. The one in Hoboken definitely doesn't. It's more of like a takeout spot. But I recently got Nick obsessed with it and he hadn't known about it. And I was like, how have you never had MAMOUN'S? And we tried like the signature sandwiches. And my favorite is the Sullivan's, which has the chicken kebab. It has tabbouleh and tahini, obviously. I don't necessarily like the shawarma as much. Nick really likes the falafel. What I decided to do is try a new one because you guys know I love to try new foods on this podcast. Want to always be trying something new or something that has a twist of the way our special guest likes it and whatnot. So I was like, I'm going to do that this time. I got the Bleecker, which is chicken kebab and falafel. So I do like falafel from time to time. I think it's a little too dry. That's like my hold up with falafel sometimes. And so, oh, this looks beautiful. Oh my God, even the chicken fell out. Well, let's place this back. There's a cat hair on that chicken. Because of you. Because of you. She is always hungry, I swear. All right, smile. I'm just going to take this chicken. I want to try the falafel since that's the thing that I don't normally have. And I can report on it. This falafel is really good. It was just Fashion Week, okay? Cut me a break. I'm tired. Okay, that falafel is so good. I am literally giving this a 10 out of 10. I have tahini on my nose. Life is beautiful. We're going to go over the trends. Falafel. Okay, we're going to go over the trends, okay? We're going to go over the trends and you're not going to eat this, okay? Okay, let me have my emotional support water bottle. So these are the fall winter 2025 fashion trends that I spotted on the runway that I am obsessed with. I'm going to start with abstract animal print. This is the one where there are the most examples because I love this trend so much. And you can almost tell which designers are like forward thinking and which designers are not still in the past, but still just doing like the original OG animal print, because the ones that are forward thinking are creating almost like animal print and then like up a little bit. I'm obsessed with that. I really like the way it looks at All Too Zara. There are like a pair of slingbacks with this dress and I was just like, oh my God, like, is that animal print? Is that not animal print? I think that's what the abstract animal print trend is to me. It's like, it almost looks like animal print at first glance, but then like there's some texture applied to it or some color applied to it, but you're just not sure, okay? So I also really loved it at Calvin Klein. Kalina Strada, this dress was super cool. And just to cap it off, I called those like big starfish sunglasses that were all over the runway at Kalina Strada. Ekeslata, this was like a deer print. It was really cool and looked very abstract to me from far away. You might not even realize that that's animal print. I also liked it at La Pointe. I felt like this like big green fluffy coat didn't necessarily look like animal print, but it also could be. It's kind of like this abstract, like obscure, is it or is it not? Loved it at the Ophelio. I like also the elongated sleeves on this incredible jacket. Tom Brown did it in a more explicit way, like over some plaid, which I thought was really neat. And it was also colorful. And then I really liked it at Tory Burch too. Again, this was like a deer print and the color of the tights with that. And then like the lenses of the sunglasses reflecting against the print. Oh my God, loved that. I thought the Tory Burch collection was really strong. I actually think that Tory Burch's collections just keep getting stronger and stronger. I'm going to wait till the end to do colors as I normally do, but let's go to fringe accessory. Now, I try not to do an accessory trend, but I kind of couldn't help myself with this one. I thought fringe accessory was really strong. It was almost like every model on the runway had forgotten something. And before they left the house, they just like threw a fringe little shawl or like bag or something over their shoulder. And it's a significant statement piece. So I really liked it at Brandon Maxwell. We had like the sweater situation tied almost like a scarf. We're going to get into the layered sweater thing because that's a trend too. Christopher John Rogers, there was just this like turtleneck situation with tons of colorful fringe coming off. This collection was so colorful. Kalina Strada, it was just like this ruffled fringe wraparound piece. Again, there was a lot of print mixing on that runway. There really always is. Marina Moscone, I really liked this fringe bag and it was kind of just like thrown over the arm really casually. Prabal Gurung, again, this was totally part of the look. It was just swung over the shoulder. The fringe was kind of down below the knees, statement making, obvious, and there. I also liked it at Tibby where it wasn't necessarily something swung over the shoulder, but there was the one statement earring that kind of went to the shoulder and definitely stuck out. Gloves, again, another accessory that just can't be ignored. It's like in previous seasons, certain designers did the gloves thing, but now they are undeniably happening. Ekeslata, I really liked the way they kind of capped off this huge red bomber jacket. I liked it at Kate too. I thought that it was really cool the way these gloves kind of protruded from just a short sleeve button down. Really sleek, and especially the way the model just has their hands in their pocket. I loved it at Michael Kors as well. I feel like at Michael Kors, there's always this like glamorous, elevated elegance to the look, and I felt that with these elbow elbow length gloves here. Sandy Lang, I mean, this was the Playful collection that I referenced before, and you just got like the white hand glove. It's like our most basic reference to what a glove is. And I think that's what's cool too, like especially at Cary where there's the black version of those, you know, we've been seeing for the past few seasons, these longer gloves to jazz up a look. But now we're seeing these, you know, these wrist length gloves that I think are just really chic and cool. Tibby was almost like snarky about it and did these like big puffy colored ones that kind of were just like bright and out there. Tibby is always one of my favorite collections. And then at Ulla Johnson, they were embellished and they were like mid-length and just so beautiful. And so many of the models wore them. And I know that these Ulla Johnson gloves are going to be like a statement accessory that we see celebrities in. I just have a feeling. I also really liked, and I think I spoke about this before, but Return to the Classics. Now, I don't want to say like classic Americana, but it was like every designer in their own way took this return back to basics, like a blazer or a suit and tie, well-tailored classic pieces that were paired in ways where like for so long, I feel like designers are like, oh, we need to like make a statement with this look. We really need to go all out and put something unexpected together. Well, this was very pared back to the classics. I loved it at Calvin Klein. I thought that that was beautiful. Even at Coach, which is a little bit more grungy, a little bit more out there was just this classic black leather blazer, very classic length. Obviously there were the baggy jeans and everything, but even that over an Argyle sweater, that's a classic piece, right? It's a classic workwear piece. At Kate, I really like, again, you see the hint of Argyle there. There's just this cropped fur jacket on top, but there's like the newsboy cap, the trouser, that's a classic piece. Sandy Lang as well. We've got like literally the blouse and tie. I don't know why this reminds me of Pam from The Office, this outfit. Is that like hilarious? I love it. Okay, and I even liked like how the pearls were on top of that. It's dress up, so it's a nod to like the theme of her show, but then it's also, again, a classic piece, right? Sergio Hudson, I think this is where I mentioned the Return to the Classics. I really liked it here. There's the satin shirt with the tie tucked in, then just like a sweater on top of it. How cool is that combo? Like, should we be doing that again? And just a really nice classic neutral colored leather pants. And at Thom Browne, I feel like the Thom Browne collection was so strong, but I feel like Thom Browne did it the way Thom Browne would, where there's Argyle, there's some gingham, there's print mixing with the tie, and then there's just like they're holding their blazers, right? They're holding their satin blazers to go with those skirts. And, you know, it's still a little bit costume-like and it's out there, but it's still classic. It's classic. And Thom Browne, like all of the tailored pieces that Thom Browne puts out are like twists and avant-garde shapes or takes on classic pieces. So I thought that that was really cool. I also want to say, because I normally do this, if there's a coat of the season, I think we talked about it for spring, we talk about it for fall. If there's a coat of the season, it's the textured duster. So if you're going to get a coat for fall, winter 2025, I really like the fuzzy textured duster. We saw it at Siriano. It was floor length. It was red. We also got a peek of abs under there. I mean, who doesn't want a little bit of that? At Christopher John Rogers, we saw this beautiful Kelly kiwi green, and it's got so much texture that there's almost hints of other colors in there. Really beautiful. Colleen Estrada's was really interesting texture as well. A neutral color, but a something extra coat. At Sergio Hudson, we saw it in this beautiful snow white, and look, they're the gloves again. And then at Ulla Johnson, this one was kind of like a mosaic pastel toned one that I thought was really, really beautiful. So that's your coat of the season. And then my final trend, I want to mention that turtlenecks are huge and coming back with a vengeance. There were so many statement turtlenecks on the runway. But for trends, I wanted to talk about something a little extra. So what I'm going to talk about is the way in which so many designers layered sweaters. I am calling it sweater overlay. I think of the word overlay. When I think of the word overlay, I think of like Photoshop. When I think of the word overlay, I get hungry. I literally am such a mess, but I just got really hungry, so I had to take a bite. Sweater overlay. When I think of overlay, I do think of Photoshop. I think of like, oh, like I'm overlaying this like layer, whatever. This sweater overlay situation is where like the designer took another sweater, of the same color, maybe even the same sweater, and wrapped it around the model, whether over the shoulder, over the neck, kind of creating this like voluminous scarf-like situation. I think of it first at Tibby. This pale pink color was pretty popular. I didn't call it one of the colors of the season, but I did like it. And I really liked the way it was just like haphazardly twisted and thrown around this model's neck. Tory Burch did a really cool version of it that was color blocked. And it was almost like a sleeve was just wrapped elegantly across this model's chest. This really drew attention to the situation just because there was this like contrast in color there. Brandon Maxwell also did it really cool. It almost looks like this model is wearing like 3 different sweaters at once. Christopher John Rogers took it down to the waist, which I loved, with this like rainbow of color, which Christopher John Rogers is known for a rainbow of color. So why not do it in a rainbow of color? At Michael Kors, we saw it in this deep, dark emerald shade that was just beautiful. And with a sweater dress instead of a sweater on a sweater, like a crop sweater. And at MAMOUN'S, we saw it in this like argyle wintry print. It's almost like a ugly Christmas sweater, but it's not ugly and it's MAMOUN'S. And yeah, I loved all of those versions of it. And I'm like interested. That's like the one trend where I'm like, should I do that? Like, can I do that? Can I do that and make it look cool? And I think we're going to see a lot of people on like TikTok showing how, unless TikTok gets banned again. But I can't, that's a conversation for another episode. Is it not? Okay. Chicken fell out of my mouth over there. I don't know if you remember, but it happened like 2 trends ago. Okay. Actually, like 1 trend ago. Let's talk about the colors. It was very hard for me to narrow down the colors here, but I did 4. And I know I normally do food to describe my colors. Well, I did that with 2 of them. Cranberry, plum, rich cobalt, and seafoam. Okay, let's start with cranberry. Cranberry, I felt like was everywhere. We saw burgundy be a thing. Last season, we saw like this bright tomato red being a thing. There's still tomato red kind of trickling into fall 2025 on the runways, but I was really into the cranberry. It is almost a more muted tone. It's, to me, more luxurious, more elevated, sophisticated. I loved it at Altuzarra. I think that's probably my favorite example of it. Carolina Herrera did it as well with these rosettes, really beautiful. Diotima, oh my God, I loved this version of it with the little fringe on the shoulders. Like, who needs a shoulder pad when you have a fringe shoulder? I loved it at Kate as well with this like delicious butter leather. Kim Shui, oh my God, this was a great example of it too. And it even has the sheen just to prove the point that like, yes, this color is happening. Again, I liked it at Mons. There's some really cool print underneath there, just like a polka dot nod. Sim Kai also did this strapless leather cranberry dress, really gorgeous. And Tory Burch's take was a little closer to Carolina Herrera's as far as tone goes, but it was just this like really cool low slung skirt suit. Really liked that. Plum, again, it's deep, it's luxurious. The colors this season are so rich. Altuzarra again did one in this fabulous satin dress. Calvin Klein did it in a sweater. Carolina Herrera did it in this long trench jacket that is so, like, you could wear that to a wedding. It's so pretty, that jacket. Ekislata did it in a mini dress. It's kind of like a textured mini dress. Michael Kors, again, this is like a nod back to the emerald look, but we see it with the sweater situation, the layered sweater overlay. And Prabal Gurung, Prabal just pays so much attention to texture. And I think this dress is a great example of that. We also have rich cobalt. This color blew me away on the runways. It is just, I love cobalt. I love blue, and I cannot wait to wear this color. I mean, I can wear it tomorrow. There's no like limitations. It's not like I have to wait till fall 2025, which that's something that should be known and said, right? You don't have to wait to wear it. But look at it at Carolina Herrera in this Mad Men-esque mini dress, kind of 60s, really into that. Christian Siriano did it in this really cool avant-garde, interestingly shaped 2-piece set. Laquan Smith, I mean, it's undeniable there, right? It's amazing. Mark Harrion did it. I love Mark Harrion. This plunging dress is like what I want to wear to a wedding all the time. Sergio Hudson did it in a skirt, and it was like electrifying, the sequin skirt. And Tory Burch even did a really gorgeous rich cobalt jacket. Finally, I want to talk about seafoam. I liked it at La Pointe, where there was a little bit extra sheen. La Pointe's looks are very much for like the going out statement making person. So that was the reasoning for that. And then Michael Kors did a twist on it in this huge furry jacket. Prabal Gurung, this incredible little mini dress with cutouts, so beautiful. And Tibby did it in a skirt with a zipper front. those are the trends. I can't. I went and got a fork just because I needed to eat the insides of this and it was getting really messy and this pita is like kind of breaking apart. But that's what I'm going to do when I leave you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed my take on the Fashion Week trends. Sorry Kit wasn't in this episode. She's being sleepy. I'm sleepy too after Fashion Week. I'm hoping that you let me know what trend is your favorite. I hope that you text or call our Shoe Therapy hotline at 917-336-2057. I told you I would memorize that, and I did. Let me know what fashion questions you have. We will get into more Shoe Therapy, I promise. Can't wait to see you during our next episode. Love you. Happy Fashion Week. Happy cabs. Happy New York City. Happy Manhattan. Happy falafel. Bye. Anyway, I am sweating again. Okay. Don't talk with your mouth full, Sarah. Don't talk with your mouth full. Just classic.